Hello guys, let's keep solving our exercises. Now let's go for number 5 and 6, in which are the two last exercises of our worksheet. Okay, so number 5, we have here two sides again, but we don't have the angle. So as we have discussed it before, this is the situation in which you need to use the inverse function of sine, or the inverse function of cosine, or inverse function of tangent. Alright, so the first thing that we have to recognize is what is the function that we must use here to relate the angle, this side and this side over here. Okay, so as you can see, B is touching 1.3. okay, B is touching 1.3. It means that this is the adjacent side. Okay, and 2.8 is the side in which is not touching the 90 degrees angle. So this is the hypotenuse, right? So we have an angle, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So since we have this, what is the function that is relating adjacent side and hypotenuse? You are right, the cosine function. So let's use it. The cosine of B, okay, the cosine of B is equal to, cosine of B is equal to the adjacent side 1.3 meters divided by the hypotenuse 2.8. Okay, now that we have this, to find out the angle B, okay, the angle B, we have to find out the inverse function of cosine, right? The inverse function of cosine. Let me write down this here. 1.3, okay, divided by 2.8. So let me take here, just organize my numbers. B equal, let's go, let me write here -1. Now this number, I'm gonna shrink this number here to put it here. Okay, -1, right? This is the symbol for the inverse function. The cosine -1 of this number here must give us the angle B. Okay, the angle B. So let's go. Let's take here. This is going to be equal to, take your calculator. Okay, clear all. The calculator must give you the inverse cosine function of 1.3 divided by 2.8. As you can see, it's pretty simple. And the angle that we have is 62.3. So 62.3 degrees. This is the answer, okay guys? 62.3 degrees. What you need to know here? Well, the only thing that you need to know is, it's not the only thing, but you need to know two things. The first thing is, what is going to be the relation that you're going to use, SOH, CAH, or TOA. Okay, we have chosen here CAH because it's the one who relates the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. Both we have the sides, and we can use these sides in the relation to find the angle B. Okay, this is the first thing that we need to know. And the second thing is to work around with these numbers and with your scientific calculator, okay, to find out the answer. But you don't have too much work, okay? And remember, you need to show this work at the end, at least these 3 lines, to show that you know the steps to solve it. Alright? Okay, number 6. Number 6 is a 2-step two or more steps exercise. Okay, we know that we have two equal angles. Okay, since we have two equal angles here, we can also we have alpha, both are equal, or angle A, and we have 90 degrees, both are equal. So we can expect here that both are going to be similar triangles. So if you get this at first, you're gonna have less work at the end. This is one way to solve, using similar triangles, okay? But even though you are going to use these roads to solve this exercise, you really need to find x or y. Okay, you really need to find one of them. So let's see how to start this question. Well, first of all, we have to figure out what are the two sides that we know, okay, in which we're gonna have we can use it here, okay. So this is not so simple, because here, as you can see, we know that we know that alpha here is creating these two lengths here. But for this first triangle, I'm gonna just fill with some color here for you. Let me use orange. This first triangle here, okay? This first triangle here, for this first triangle you have two sides. So you can use Pythagoras to find the third if you want, okay? So let's use Pythagoras just to use this knowledge. So here we know that x squared plus 5 squared must be equal to 10 squared. Okay? So x squared is equal to 10 squared, or 100 minus 25. Okay? So this is 75. So x is going to be the root square of 75. Let's take our calculators. Let me clean all. Root square of 75. 8.66. Okay, I'm gonna use this number, 8.66. Okay, what is 8.66? This is x. Okay, this is x. So let's just write next to x. This is 8.66. All right. Now let's find out the angle alpha, or the angle A. Okay. Since we want to find an angle, we're gonna use the inverse function of one of the SOH CAH TOA rules, right? We have the three sides. We may choose any one of these. So I will choose the opposite side, number 5, and the hypotenuse, number 10. Opposite side and hypotenuse is the sine rule. So the sine of alpha of A is going to be equal to, let me use another color because this is the second part of the exercise. Sine of A is going to be equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse, okay? From this rule here, from the sine rule. And of course, as you know, A is going to be the inverse sine. I'm gonna write down like this. Now you know that the common. No, let me do it properly for you. The sine, the inverse function of the sine of 5 over 10. Okay, I'm gonna grab the minus 1 from here. Okay, minus 1. Okay, the inverse function of sine of 5 over 10. Okay, so at the end, A is going to be equal to, let's take our calculators. Now I'm going to take this one to help you also if you have one of this. shift sign to get the inverse function of sine, okay, of 5 divided by 10. You can close the bracket if you want. Okay, look, it's 30 degrees. Okay, so alpha is equal 30 degrees. Alpha equal 30 degrees. So we had the first step here in which we found one side, x, using Pythagoras. We had the second step here in which we found the angle. Okay, in which we found the angle. And now let's figure out y. Okay, y. So we know that here is 60 degrees. Oh, sorry, 30 degrees from here, because this angle is equal to this one. So here is 30 degrees. And now we can use the relation. What is the relation? Is the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse again. So let's do it. The sine of 30, because now I know the size of the angle. So you already know that we don't need the inverse function anymore. Okay, sine of 30 is going to be the sine opposite y divided by the hypotenuse 5. Okay, so y is going to be equal to 5 times the sine of 30. Y is equal to, let me take my scientific calculator here. Let's go. 5 times the sine of 30 degrees. So the answer is 2.5. 2.5. We don't have units. Alright, we don't have units. Okay, is it right? How can we figure out if this is right or not? Well, at the beginning of this question, I told you that both angles are similar since they have two equal angles, which means that the 30 angle here are equal as well. Okay, and since they have equal angles, they are similar. Alright, we also know that this side, the hypotenuse of the biggest triangle, is the double of the hypotenuse of the smaller triangle. Okay, in the proportion of 2 by 1. Okay, now as you can see, the opposite side in the bigger triangle is 5. And the opposite side in the smaller triangle is 2.5. Okay, so we used the SOH-CAH-TOA rule, okay, the trigonometric relations to find this side, but you could also solve this by using similarity. Okay, so you choose, both are okay, but if you put here that this is 2.5, you just have to write because both triangles are similar, just to support your answer. Okay, so that's it, guys. I will not take more time. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please message me. Bye.